They're starting to bunch up. The green flag has been waved and away they go, and those back markers moved up fairly quickly. But Danny Hayes jumps out to the front from Bruce McCulloch, and there's a bit of a tangle down here on the first turn. That's Vassal, who's not having a very, very happy night indeed. Joe Lawler, Graham Edmund, and now Alan Baker. Alan Baker's front end shot to pieces. So away we go with a restart of the Hot Rodders. And Warren Vassal's back there racing, which is good to see. The green flag has been waved and away they go, and as Danny Hayes, Ron St John got a flying start, moved up into second position from Bruce McCulloch. In Rickson in fourth, and Gary Jeff's looking for a way through. Eric Lavender in the 10 car weaving his way through the field. And he's had a little bit of misfortune this season in the Hot Rodders, and it'd be good to see him get out of the ruck and seriously challenge for the lead. Now Ian Rickson pulls to the inside. It got a little bit hot for Ian, I think, back there with these back markers charging through. But Danny Hayes a good leader at this stage, and he's a jolly good front runner is Danny Hayes. Ron St John in second. Now Bruce McCulloch is driving a good race there, holding up this traffic. Gary Jeffs moves up on his inside now to move into clear third. Eric Lavender and David King going side by side through there on Bruce McCulloch. Bruce McCulloch had nowhere to go but to the paint. Now Eric Lavender moves into fourth position, now looking for a way through on Gary Jeffs. Graham Gillespie's also running well tonight, and he's looking for a way through as something goes amiss with Ron St John's car and allows Eric Lavender to go through. Graham Gillespie also looking for a way through on Ron St John, finds one. Graham Edmund and Craig Wrightson coming to grips there. Graham Edmund also running very well now, moves up to fifth. He's followed through by Craig Wrightson and David King, and Warren Vassal looking to stay clear, moves up on the inside of Ron St John to improve his position. But at this stage it is Danny Hayes well out in front of Gary Jeffs, who is holding down second position from Eric Lavender. Then back to Graham Gillespie, Graham Edmund, Craig Wrightson. Warren Vassal moves up on the outside of David King to improve another position. Then back to Ron St John, Chris Whiting, then Terry Hopwood, and the rest tail off. 6.5 laps to go, and the interest really is in the battle for second at this stage, as Danny Hayes has got a comfortable half a dozen car length lead on Gary Jeffs. Eric Lavender now moving to the high side to try and get past Gary Jeffs, but can't do so. And Graham Edmund is also looking for a way through on Graham Gillespie to improve his position. Craig Wrightson handy behind them with plenty of laps to go. Now the field start to close on Danny Hayes as Gary Jeffs and Eric Lavender move right up on Danny. Graham Gillespie and Graham Edmund having a very good battle there for fourth position, and Craig Wrightson just behind them in a handy position with Warren Vassal, David King, Steve Simmons, something's gone amiss with his car, Chris Whiting, Terry Hopwood and Ron St John bringing up the rear with Bruce McCulloch. Now Danny Hayes still leads from Gary Jeffs, who moves up on his bumper bar. Eric Lavender also in a very close handy position. Graham Edmund something going amiss there, and Graham Gillespie had to check, allowing Craig Wrightson to come through. Now Craig Wrightson, if he gets clear of Graham Edmund, could seriously challenge these front runners as there's 3 laps to go. But Danny Hayes still leads from Gary Jeffs. Eric Lavender can't improve his position. He seems to be stuck behind Gary Jeffs and doesn't know which way to go. Now he switches to the high side as he got the parry, moves up on the outside of Gary Jeffs. Can he hold that line? He looks as though he can. Can he get around? Gary Jeffs still holding the inside line and still holds down in second position. Eric Lavender still puts the power on up high now. Now he gets past Gary Jeffs. Has he got the power to go on with it and take on Danny Hayes also? Eric Lavender and Gary Jeffs side by side with 1.5 to go. Eric Lavender in second position with Gary Jeffs. Graham Edmund and Craig Wrightson move right up on those drivers too. Danny Hayes still leads. This is a good battle. This will go right to the wire. Hayes leads from Lavender. Edmund gets it a little bit sideways, allowing Gary Jeffs back into third position. Edmonds and Wrightson nowhere to go. Edmonds on the high line of Gary Jeffs. Also moves up on Eric Lavender as something goes amiss with Eric Lavender, but it's Danny Hayes in the 50 who leads from start to finish. The 10 of Eric Lavender, then the 12 of Graham Edmund, the 31 of Gary Jeffs, the 16 of Craig Wrightson, and then the 22 of Graham Gillespie. Back to Warren Vassal, then David King, Chris Whiting, Tony Hopwood, Ron St John and Bruce McCulloch is the last to finish. The time 3:38.706 for Danny Hayes. As I mentioned, good front runner Danny Hayes, and he drove a pretty good race there. He came under an enormous amount of pressure towards the end of that race from not only Eric Lavender but Graham Edmund and also Gary Jeffs. But give him a big hand. He drove a good race there under extreme pressure in the end, and a good win to weigh a front marker tonight. Danny Hayes in the 50 car.